here?
I just did, didn't I?
Mr. Mack, come in.
Come on, Mr. Mack.
Thank you. Okay. This is Mr. Mack, who is a social studies teacher at our school. He's also served as a principal. He will be retiring this year and be gravely missed. He's also my best friend. But Mr. Mack spoke to the international guests that came on election day. And I think he had a very, he doesn't like to have the spotlight, but he's a phenomenal person. He also helped make this day for you. He's organized lunch for us. But I want him to share his thoughts that he shared with the guests last time about the historic nature of the election and the history of your family and your parting words about teaching and anything else you want to share.
Well, now, let's understand something. I loved your outfit, by the way, Professor. That was so good. Won't you leave me at that? No, I would, again, like to welcome all of the international students. We hope that you're learning something, again, like the ones who were here before. There's a lot to be said about your high school because I can really give you some serious stories. Having been here for 28 years, you go through a lot of experiences and can share a lot. I was mentioning to this last group that was here about my family previously, who was born in Mississippi. And for those of you who have some brief history about America's South and its slaves, then you know what I'm talking about. But my great-grandfather was born into slavery in 1863. So that was very special to see the illustrious Mr. Obama, President Obama, become President Obama. But to see now that some things never change, just to let you students know that politically, let's understand, it's still partisan. And you'll get to read about that more and more. We're trying to really get over the hump in terms of this recession. And this, these political parties are still separated. And not all about the people when it's supposed to be. If you look at our history in this country, we've gone through levels of history. And Martin Luther King Jr. said this many times, you know, justice delayed is justice denied. And so people always wanted to be equal, because I heard you say, I heard Alana say that we're equal now. Well, that's part of it. But in certain terms, we'll never be. And I've been down that road too many times to know that. I worked for the government for 11 years, by the way. And let me let you know that even white women aren't equal in this country. Whether it's by wage, whether it's by position. So I'm giving you a scope of how America really truly is through my black eyes. It is something else to see it, and then it's something else to live it. Yes, we've come a long way in this country, and who would have ever thought that we would see this day? Not me. I would have told you this 2 years ago. Get out of my face, doesn't be a black person. Well, they made a liar out of me, and I was so grateful to be a liar. But understand this too, that you have to keep on fighting the fight. I mean, women too. When I worked for the government, most of our minorities that we put into meaningful positions were white females. They weren't blacks. And again, you can go back to them fighting the fight. And all the way back to 19th Amendment. What was that? Say it louder. So they've always fought the fight. Somebody's always going to fight the fight to be equal. And that's what's so great about this nation, that no one ever gives up the fight. That's so great. And for these young people and for yourself, we never give up the fight. And just let me leave this with you. When we were at the Union Station, everybody remembers the Union Station, right?
Yes.
Never forget when Mr. Rogge, now Miss U was always called affectionately, we were looking down and I'm looking at, oh, there's A. Philip Randolph. Now, if none of you know, international students, know about, you probably heard it so many times about the I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. They had 250,000 people. First ever large gathering in this country. He did not organize that. A. Philip Randolph organized that, along with Clyde Rustin. And let me tell you, when I saw the bus down there, I ran down the stairs and I wanted to read the bus. Oh, yes, that's the famous quote, and I'm going to give it to you, Mother. But this New Zealander came up to me. She was there for the inauguration, too. And she said, oh, you know it about him? I said, yes, I do. She says, you saw the movie 40,000 Black Men Named George. Well, those who've seen that movie know. What is it? You never, with me, you never saw it? Well, it's called 10,000 Black Men Named George. It's a true story. He's the first black to ever organize a union in this country. Ever. In the history. And organize a union in this country, you're taking your life in your hands, but irrespective. So she says, I said, no, 10,000. So she says, no, 40,000. I said, okay, if you say so. She says, okay, that's okay. You must know about the movie because you're not arguing me. I said, okay, fine. So we were reading his quote, and his quote goes like this. At the banquet table of life, there are no reserved seats. Everything that you get, you hold on to it in life. And he's right. And so when we have never reached the pinnacle, but we always strive for it. So I tell you that I'm appreciative of your being here and hope that you learn something from these illustrious students, because I love them to death. Some of them. And we enjoy you here, so we hope that you have a nice time. Thank you.